Don't listen if you don't want to change your bad patterns, okay? We're bringing it to light, and we're going to expect you to do something with that. You can't be naive and incompetent anymore. So this is your stopping point if you want to stay dumb. You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where we believe your relationship can be better than ever after having a baby. But it does take tools, insights, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea. Join me and my husband, Mike, as we have honest conversations, provide valuable tips you can apply today, and root for you to have your best relationship ever. It's not only good for you and your family, it's good for the whole world around us. Now let's get into today's episode.
Well, it's the cognitive and emotional labor.
Ooh, tell me more.
All the stuff you have to do to keep the household running and the family functioning mentally, that is. Like anticipating, planning, organizing, remembering everything that needs to happen. And the key here is invisible. This just isn't chores, though it might include those. This is the mental tabs that are always open in the brain.
Right. When I close my eyes and I think about the mental load, I literally see these in my brain, essentially. Like when your computer starts to slow down because you have like 27 tabs open, you're pushing it to the limit with all of these different things, just hoping that it doesn't break down before you get through them. And this, I think, is what the mental load feels like. It's all of those things in your brain that you don't want to forget, or you have to make sure get done, or they're an outstanding question, and it's in your mind.
And maybe even the thing I just thought of is all these new rules that you're learning, social rules, because now you're in a new role.
Yeah.
But in early parenthood, what does this actually look like?
There's just a couple of things that you have to do with babies and with kids as they grow. And I don't know, we're 9 years in now, and there's still so many tabs. It's like tracking the nap windows and the feeding logs, but you're also remembering when the next pediatrician appointment is and which vaccines are due, and you're communicating your boundaries with visitors. You are keeping the pumping schedule. You're doing the grocery planning. You're researching childcare options for when you go back to work. And of course, you have to make sure that you're on the daycare list a long time ahead. And what kind of food do they serve? And what is your baby allergic to? And what kind of schedule do they need? And what kind of atmosphere do they need? And, who's going to do the drop-offs on Tuesdays when you have that early morning meeting?
Wow. So that's the mental load.
Right. But don't forget, you're like also juggling the finances, making sure we have the next size up in diapers, remembering birthday gifts for mom and brothers and everyone else, and changing out the closets because their clothes get small so damn fast, you can hardly keep up with it. And if they're the right size, they're the wrong season.
I think you did a great job of making it clear that it feels like an endless list.
It does.
And somebody has to do it.
Yes.
And it often falls on mom for a number of different reasons. And it's an unequal load.
Right. And it can get a lot better.
Right. Absolutely.
So we want to definitely make sure we're working everybody to this place where you recognize, okay, there is a better place to get to, and we're going to take steps to do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share a story.
Oh, okay.
I remember the first time that you kind of word vomited this list to me, and it blew me away. I literally had no idea. In my mind, there were a few things that she was keeping track of. It didn't seem like it was going to be that significant of a list, or that long of a list. And not only was I surprised at how much she was keeping track of, I also felt like, damn, I could never keep track of all that. How the hell are you doing it? Mm-hmm. And so I knew I had to step up. I knew I had to take some of that weight and carry some of those responsibilities. But I wasn't very good at it at first. That's
yeah, I want to speak to that and say two things. One, with the like, how are you doing all of that? I recognize and take responsibility that there are things and worries and societal pressures and unnecessary expectations that I took on because of performance, because of wanting to prove myself as a mom, because it just felt like I had to nail it and it was going to fall on me, whether this child had a successful life or not, or was, born and had a good childhood. I put too much on myself and in return spilled more over on you than needed to be. If we're thinking about like what was a good life in that season, we could have done less. Second, it was really hard for me, and I'm not shaming you in any way for saying things the way that they, are true for you. But hearing like I couldn't do that, I remember, some of our early conversations about that. And that felt so frustrating for me to hear because I was like, oh, do you get a choice? Because I don't feel like I have a choice. Right. But of course I have a choice. God, sort of, yeah. I can choose to run away from my family if I want to. I have that choice. Right. Not that you were running away from the family. I wasn't trying to imply that,
I didn't think that's what you were saying.
Being unaware of the mental load and running away from your family are the same thing.
But choosing to provide the life you want your baby to have, it came with so much weight, so much of a load.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, right now, this conversation has only gotten louder and louder on social media. Right. Chelsea, I think you posted about it probably 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it wasn't much of a conversation then.
Right.
And it has only crescendoed into it's becoming pretty known. Like it's naturally unequal, and not everything that happens naturally is good.
Yeah. Can you say more about that? Or you were saying something earlier to me about like maybe an assumption that things that are natural are easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a myth.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought because this baby developed inside her body, Chelsea's body, there was this connection, right? This biological connection that, when all things baby came up, that Chelsea was the expert. This was her field of expertise. And if she needed help, she would call on me, and that's kind of just how I went into it, right or wrong. There's also, again, other things in play like cultural norms
and to be fair, early on, I'm sure I said things like, I know I'm the mom, or I have the mother's intuition, or, I think that was probably some of my language after our first child, much different after our second. But I felt like I was supposed to have that too.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't. And that's when it felt
out of control.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there are things that happen naturally, like our bodies definitely have inherited certain instincts and tendencies that help us parent. But what we've inherited is not enough to meet the challenges and demands of modern parenthood. I mean, those instincts are like kind of ancient, you know, and we live in a modern world. So we have to add to that. We have to augment that with our own understanding.
Wow. That was nerdy and sexy at the same time.
Thanks.
I loved it.
Very good.
So we were talking about how this can become equal even with partners with good intentions, right? Like we didn't walk into this like,
Right.
well, I'm going to be the cute little stay-at-home wife who does absolutely everything, and you're going to go off into the fields and come home to me, my darling, and I will take care of the... I will raise the children if you pay all the bills.
All right.
That song is Paula Cole's Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
If you need a trad wife vibe,
she gets mad at the end, though. He does not show up for her like she needs to. He's out having a beer.
See?
So don't go there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a big contrast, too. In historically, men, talking like our grandparents' generation probably, the man did nothing concerning the baby, right? So that has slowly changed. And beyond that, when he came home, the wife was expected to basically wait on him hand and foot, is kind of my impression.
But we also lived in a society that was sustained by single income homes.
True. Very, very good point. Very good. Yeah. So just one more part on that, on that natural piece. Yeah, I think even when the breastfeeding season came, it was difficult. I remember it was just so challenging, and
for who?
For you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you sought out help, lactation consultant, and we came to understand that even though breastfeeding is obviously biologically natural, even that doesn't always land right. And there's always this piece of stepping in and seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah. I mean, we've got cultural scripts. There's this weird praise for maternal self-sacrifice. Like there is still a lot of glorifying a mom who is busy or overwhelmed or strung out or, you know, dropping her Diet Coke in her minivan full of kids. Like it's just the glorified scene. And I don't know if it was on this episode that you mentioned earlier, like if the kids show up to school and something's missing, you know, I think we've made some progress, but I think it's still more reflective on the mom when something slips through the cracks.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, for instance, if the kids show up without, they call you, not me, and that would be the norm. So there are a lot of responsibilities that are channeled to moms. And in addition to what is naturally inherited, and then in addition to what is culturally kind of carried through, like, you know, keeping track of the birthdays, keeping track of...
Yeah, because who's the one organizing the family events?
Hey, I'm out there working hard.
The women doing that. Yeah. That is like a very beginner intro of the mental load.
Yeah. What are some things?
All the exchanging of details for a family get together or Christmas gifts or, you know, birthday plans.
Right.
Whether you're a mom or not, I bet more females are in those group texts or those event pages. And they do the planning and they do the arranging and they figure out who's bringing what. And then they just tell their husband what time when it's time to leave.
Yeah. Now, I think probably this is a good time to mention this can look differently for, different couples at different
seasons
and maybe financial levels.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if you're paying to have someone help at home, that helps a lot.
Right.
But a lot of most couples don't have that luxury. Even if you do, it's still difficult.
It's probably still not enough.
Yeah. And so for most couples that are tag teaming this together, it's almost like, they're battle buddies.
Yeah.
And they're out there alone without much external support.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes, you've got family members that can step up, but for the most part, this generation's grandmas and great aunts, and they're still in the workforce.
Why did you only name women?
Right. See? Well, of that generation, men still don't stand.
Yeah. No,
so
totally. So why does this matter so much for relationships? Well, as we're hearing, the invisible load, when it is equal, it creates this toxic cycle that can repeat over and over again.
Yeah. Not only generationally, but like even within the family.
Oh.
Yeah. And it can be really tough because the cycle of frustration, it causes the couple to put walls up when they need to be in cooperation. And it's kind of like a feedback loop.
Like when you throw darts at your only partner, then you're lonely. You're mad at them.
Yeah.
They're over there hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, it's like attacking your battle buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he's your backup or she's your backup. You cover each other. You hold, So I don't know. We have a little research from the American Psychological Association, and it shows that parental burnout is on the rise, and it disproportionately affects moms. So as you dig into the data, the mental load is a huge factor for this.
Okay, so we're in this cycle where one partner is feeling like, I'm doing so much, nothing is appreciated, and the other person, the other partner might be feeling like, I do everything, my partner doesn't even see it. And they're both right. That makes this hard. It can create real damage. You stop seeing each other as teammates. We need to get people to a better place. So here's what I want our listeners to understand, especially if you're the partner who doesn't notice, I'm using quotes here, or air quotes, the invisible load. If you're the partner who doesn't notice the invisible load, not noticing doesn't mean you don't care. It means that the system has been invisible to you, but now don't listen if you don't want to change your bad patterns, okay? We're bringing it to light, and we're going to expect you to do something with that. You can't be naive and incompetent anymore. So this is your stopping point if you want to stay dumb. Hey friend, if you have little ones at home or on the way, you need more than just parenting tips and stroller recommendations. You need support that actually strengthens your relationship, protects your peace, and helps you feel like a team. That's exactly what we do at Postpartum Together. Through coaching, workshops, and VIP couples weekends designed to meet you right where you are. If you're ready to stop just surviving and start building something stronger together, book a free call with us using the link in the show notes. We'll have a real conversation, get to know what's going on behind closed doors, and explore what's possible for you two. Because you deserve a relationship that's not just holding on, but growing deeper steadier, and more connected than ever. And we can help you get there. Sorry, that was rude, but
Coaching with Chelsea.
okay.
No, but for real, I think it's true that it typically is not visible, but once it becomes visible, that's when you have a chance to step up and start to even out that load.
Okay, so how do you actually share the invisible load before it becomes a source of resentment or division in your relationship? We have this little framework where you see it, you say it, and you slay it.
That felt good.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, well, go ahead. Tell us about this.
Okay, step 1, see it.
Awareness. It's the first step.
Right.
Yeah.
And this might sound like a simple step, but people skip over this. You can't talk about something you don't see. You can't change something you turn a blind eye to.
Yeah. So you can ask yourself, what am I tracking right now? Right? Like sometimes the mother doesn't know. Or if the partner steps up, what are you keeping track of that I might not see? It's okay to ask that question because there's a good chance you don't see it. And there's also a chance mom doesn't see it. So getting the question out there, what is running in that mental space?
Okay, but the only way this is going to work is if you have an agreement that you're not going to be defensive. Like we have a couple episodes back on nervous system and just having safety in your conversations.
Yeah.
So I want to point back to that because if I'm spouting out, I think probably the first few times I did this, how was your day, babe? Because I did this and this and this and this and this and this. You might feel
a little defensive.
Yeah. And you're going to, rise up and say, well, I did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And then I'm going to do it again, until
it escalates.
It escalates or we create more shit to do just to have more than so silly. We get caught in really silly patterns.
Yeah, it's so natural and unhelpful to see your partner as the enemy in these stressful situations. And it's just so valuable to remember we are on the same team here. We've interrupted a lot of conversations with that phrase. We are on the same team. So, spend 5 minutes writing out the mental tabs. There's obviously some amount of mental load that the father is usually carrying, and so if you can get them all out on paper where you can see them, then you can work with it.
Yeah, not to compare lists.
Right. We're really kind of putting it all in a big pool where it's nobody's for, at least you suspend it for a moment and then you look at it and say, okay, what is it that I can do best? What is it that you can do best? What is it that we can share? And what is it that we can just put on the shelf because we just don't have the damn time?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it feels good to know, especially if your partner seems like cool as a cucumber most of the time, it can be nice to know that there are things that they're carrying or worrying about. I know that doesn't sound completely healthy, I guess, but it's
concerned
helpful
about,
when you don't feel like you're the only one carrying some of the heaviness of trying to make sure your choices in your day-to-day life are good for your kids and your family.
Well, I don't know if we read this together or not, but there was a study on the causes of, what causes people to end a relationship.
Sure.
And one of them was they felt like they were putting more into the relationship than they were getting out.
Yeah.
that was closely tied to, they felt like they were giving more than the other person was.
Yeah. Wow.
And obviously that can show up in this situation.
Oh yeah. That's why scorekeeping is such a problem.
Oh God, yeah.
That is the extent of the mental load conversation for some people, is scorekeeping with each other.
Right.
And that is, again, silly behavior. We're better than that. We can do better than this.
Yes. That's
okay.
Right.
So step 2 is you have to communicate. We're done. That's like,
yeah,
you've got to communicate. And I don't just mean talk. I mean ask and listen and feel and share.
Be curious here.
And be on the same team.
Yeah. Like, how can we tackle this together?
Right.
Right. And you'll have to do some brainstorming and get creative. And that's awesome, because you're going to love what you come to when you put this kind of effort into it.
Right.
There's some really good solutions.
I want to stop right now because I forgot to mention this a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
We, in the show notes, have a mental load brain dump, essentially, with some different categories and prompts for people to get this out of their head. So that is a free download, and it is in the show notes, and you're going to want to make sure that you have that. Print one for you, one for your partner, and make a time to sit down and talk through those.
Yeah. And it doesn't take long. Literally.
Yeah.
You take 15 minutes to half hour, and it will save you hours of frustration, days of frustration.
Seriously. Yes.
Yeah.
15 minutes of intention is sometimes like the equivalent of 2 hours of haphazard reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, these conversations probably will be emotional.
Sure.
Typically are. But one thing that Chelsea and I have learned, just because of the difference in our communication styles, I'm an introvert. I just hold everything in and think through it. And then once I come to that place, I talk about it. Chelsea,
external processor,
just figures it out as she's saying it. The first 90% doesn't matter. It's just the last 10. And so when you're talking, this is a time to know that it's just what's swirling around up there. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not trying to fix it right away. We're not trying to have a response. We're just trying to get the information down.
Yeah.
Where we can see it. And
we do have some scripts to help with that, because sometimes you just don't know how to start the conversation. Those are also in that mental load brain dump. So there's some scripts to help talk about that.
Yeah. Well, so it'll give you a chance to clear your browser cache, but for your brain.
I know. Maybe.
Clear your cookies. I don't know.
Close more tabs.
Yeah.
My life is continually trying to have less and less tabs open at the same time.
Yeah. And I'm sure other people feel this, but it's like every time I go into my email, 90% of my time is spent unsubscribing to things that I'm like, how did I get subscribed to Frito-Lay? Like, what the?
Are you subscribed to Frito-Lay?
Not anymore. Hopefully not.
You were?
No. I think my email got sold to because I got signed up for a lot of random products.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
Are you buying Fritos behind our back?
No, I'm not. I think I scanned a QR code for something the kids wanted, and it was connected.
It's probably a Minecraft partnership.
Probably something like that.
We need to get to step 3.
Okay, let's do this.
Step 3, yay! You forgot to say it.
Slay, baby. All right. So
this is where you reassign responsibilities with intention.
Yeah.
But notice we didn't say spread everything equally.
Right. Yeah. So I briefly touched on this, right? So there's some stuff that it will just make sense for one partner to do that thing. Then there's things you can share, and then there's things you'll wait on. Now the makes sense, just because it makes sense culturally or normatively doesn't work here, because if that's the rules we follow, mom will be carrying way too much weight.
Out.
We have to think about our own innate strengths, what we're good at. If you're good with numbers, you're doing the budget, right? I mean, there are definitely typical gender roles that fall in place here. There are going to be things that men are freed up to do a little bit more if women are with the baby and breastfeeding, and their time is there. So maybe husband is doing all the laundry now and all the dishes, and the housework is one of the easiest things to shift over because anybody can do housework.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit more of the logistical work, though.
Right. Yes.
And what I think is
that's a good starter, was what I was trying to say.
Yes, no, it's a good starter, and I think it's one that, like, this gets kind of mucky. But I think what you're saying, and I agree with, is that men can take on more of the logistical load. If mom truly has more of the mental load, and it makes sense for their family in that way, like, then maybe the man does step into more of the logisticals and the chores. But it's because we recognize that those aren't the only things, that there is mental and emotional labor. And that's, I think, why this like download brain dump is so important, because you can, look at everything on your list and decide, like, what is important for you to own completely.
Yeah.
If there's something you are very sure about how it needs done, then maybe that's the thing you own. What do you share between you and your partner? And I really want to hone on this. Like, what do you park for later because you don't have the capacity and you don't have to keep up with anyone else, and it's just not a priority right now?
Yeah. And truly, this is about your family and your baby. The things you park, for sure. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we can let go of that doesn't serve us anymore. As soon as baby arrives, those things become a lot more clear.
I know I needed this as a new mom, so let me give you a little permission moment. A reminder, you don't have to do it all, okay? Ask yourself, is this task truly valuable for my family, or is it pressure from society? Is it something I saw on Instagram? Is it something that the in-laws were asking for? Like, does your baby really need a monthly milestone photo shoot? Like, do you want that? Do you love that? Does that make you so happy? Then awesome. Does it feel like pressure and you're stressing over getting it right, and then the baby spits up over the cutest outfit you had that fits them right now? Like, then just chill,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of things can flex here, right? Yeah. I mean, you don't have to have 4-course meals. Like, you can back off on a lot of the sort of privileges or allowances you had before you had a baby.
Yeah.
So,
my babies still have not thanked me for making sure that their baby-led weaning plates looked cute and organized and perfectly cut. They still have not thanked me, and I still have yet to get paid for that.
Yes.
So me to you and me to old me, like, create some good enough standards that serve your real values and not the external expectation of perfect parenting.
And it's hard to resist this, but we were like on everything was organic and BPA free, and like a lot of that's good, but like we were maxed out, right? We were like hippy dippy level 11 almost. And I mean, no shame. Like, if you have the time and money to do that, do it. But it's the same as you said earlier. Like, if that is your thing, yes. If it's not, then don't take it on. I mean, there's also things for baby.
Right. So, like, baby gear, it's not, hey, babe, go grab a baby carrier for the baby. There are so many different kinds. There are so many different car seats and strollers and high chairs. So if we don't talk about this, it's likely to all fall on mom, not because dad doesn't care and he's a piece of junk, because that's who's being marketed to for these products. That's who's talking about it in circles.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you get to be really intentional about this, and one person researches and manages all the gear.
Mm-hmm.
Babe, you are the king of the gear, the
Mm-hmm.
car seats, the strollers, the high chairs. I'm going to own things like finding a pediatrician and setting up some tracking documents so that we can track feeds and sleep and things like that.
Yeah.
We're figuring out all the moving pieces. It's not just get a stroller.
Yeah.
It's research, it's comparing prices, it's maybe talking to some other people and looking at reviews.
Yeah.
So much that would naturally fall on mom, but doesn't have to. Right. And more, like I want men to enjoy this journey too. Like,
yeah, this
is a first time for them, for new parents.
Yeah.
This is a new life experience.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I mean, it's not, we've drifted a little far from our main point, which is we want you to have a great family experience. Mm-hmm. We want you to have a closeness, a safety, a warmth in your home. We want that connection to be there. Yeah. Our work is to help clear out the things that distract from the good stuff. Mm.
Did you have any aha moments or helpful reframes that came from this episode? If so, would you take a minute to lift us up and leave a review or a comment on the podcast page? So again, if something stuck out to you, if you are sending this to your partner so that you can have a conversation, or if there was a helpful tip you're going to employ in your own life, take a moment, leave a review, and let's keep the conversation going.